Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Baxter Boxing. Now, you guys see it, man. My boy Gervonte Tank Davis, man. Recently he just stopped Rolly Romero, man, in a spectacular 6-round knockout. And now, man, with Rolly Romero out the way, he's broke records at the Barclays Centers, man. His gate did over 5 million, and he did over 18,000 at the Barclays Centers, breaking a record. So that all being said, man, people keep talking about how, there's these champions in Devin Haney and George Gambosis, and then there's the big dog Gervonte Tank Davis. It's wild because, Devin Haney is getting paid like $2-something million, and Gambosis is getting paid $10-something million for their unification or for their undisputed fight happening soon, right? The Zone, after they seen Gervonte Tank Davis's numbers and everything, they offered this guy a big deal. Eddie Hearn talks about how he wants to sign Gervonte Tank Davis, and he's throwing around big numbers, right? He already signed Demetrius Andrade a while back, and he was throwing big dollars at him, but he didn't make him a star. But if you want to get paid big money, Eddie Hearn's your guy. Now, that being said, man, my boy Blue Buzz Sports TV, man, he's came out and said that Eddie Hearn is willing to pay Gervonte Tank Davis big money. How much money are we talking? Over $20 million per fight, for this Gervonte Tank Davis fight. Anyone to fight anybody, Now, I have a link in the description talking about my boy Leonard Ellaby talking about how this guy, Eddie Hearn, how he's overpaying his fighters, but they're not getting any big fights, which is wild stuff. Understand that $20 million per fight for a guy who's quote unquote not the best, some guy who's not quote unquote a 3-division world champion, even though Gervonte Tank Davis is right. He has the WBA regular title, and 2 of the 3 divisions are named. Right, 130, he got 140 division, he has the WBA regular title. 135, he has the WBA regular title. And 130, he had the super and IBF title at one point. Right, so, it's wild that Gervonte Tank Davis will not only get paid $20 million per fight under Eddie Hearn, but he'll be making more than George Gambosis and Devin Haney combined per fight. So this is what Eddie Hearn could do for Gervonte Tank Davis, man. It's wild, man, because a lot of haters, man, they can't stand it, man. They don't like the fact that Gervonte Tank Davis is doing these kind of big numbers without a quote-unquote world title, that he's the highest paid without quote-unquote being, a champion or undisputed or unified champion. But guess what? He signed with Floyd Money Mayweather. And when you sign with Floyd Money Mayweather, he's basically passing the torch toward you, man. When Floyd Mayweather is around, when Gervonte's around, it's an association, man. When you associate yourself with money, you get paid big money. People want big money fights, but you need to have a big money character. And Gervonte Tank Davis is that guy, for sure. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man, with Eddie Hearn. But the pressure is real, man. Leonard Ellaby is not liking the fact that Gervonte Tank Davis could go over there with Eddie Hearn and get paid $20 million plus fighting God knows who. He's definitely going to be bringing these fights over there to the UK for sure. Gervonte Tank Davis already fought somebody in the UK before. I think it's Liam Walsh or Liam something. Or he fought someone from the UK already. So Gervonte Tank Davis already went over there, stopped the kid, and going over there in the UK, Gervonte Tank Davis could definitely sell out an 80,000 seat arena. Everyone can in the UK. If you're a big name, you're most likely selling out an arena. And Eddie Hearn, one thing he does well is he knows the market of the people in the UK. He knows them very, very well. So he definitely can get that done, man. And I'm waiting to see it. I'm willing to see it, man. Because let's keep it a buck. Gervonte Tank Davis, he can't fight Devin Haney or George Gambosis. They got a 2-fight deal if Devin Haney wins. And then after that fight, Devin Haney got to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. And Teofimo Lopez is most likely not trying to take anything. You know what I mean? Because he needs to get his name back after that loss with George Gambosis. So he needs at least a year or 1 or 2 fights to get his name back from the mud. So, and maybe in a year that would be a possible fight. But, he needs definitely 1 or 2 big name wins, or at least 1 big name win to just get his name back in the 135 division. But yeah, man, at this point in Gervonte's career, the belts are tied up. So anyone that Gervonte Tank Davis fights is going to be quote unquote a bump. So you might as well get paid a lot of money in the meantime, when all this undisputed mess is being worked out between Devin Haney and Gambosis, and in the future, if Devin Haney wins, him versus Vasyl Lomachenko. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man. I was really excited to hear that Eddie Hearn is trying to pay Gervonte Davis big money, because it confirms that Gervonte Tank Davis is the biggest name in boxing. There's a reason why, Devin Haney is getting paid only $2 million, and Lou DiBella went the Bob Arum route and not the DAZN route, because these two fighters aren't big names like the Gervonte Tank Davis is. That's facts. They're not big names like Gervonte Tank Davis, and there's no denying that. So all that being said, man, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. But I know Gervonte Tank Davis is the biggest name because anyone could talk, but money walks. And when people are throwing money at you, that means you have worth, a lot of worth. They're not throwing $20 million a fight to a bum. Only big names, right? And a lot of people are talking about how they're not going to make their money back, and, Gervonte Tank Davis is not worth all that. But understand, the zone has a budget. They got to spend a certain amount of money on fights. So they got money to burn. They really messed up the whole Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua situation up. They really messed it up, and they realized that we can't really sit and let things marinate anymore. We just got to throw money at it, because understand that the zone, if they want to make it, they got to associate themselves with high level fights, and it doesn't matter if we lose money as long as you own the rights to this fight. And Gervonte Tank Davis is getting paid a lot of money because he's probably the zone's probably going to own the rights to the fight. They're going to own the rights to the fight for sure. But the zone's going to be associated with the knockout artist in Gervonte Tank Davis, who's being groomed by Money Mayweather, and that's facts. So Eddie Hearn talked about how there's holes in the contract, how Gervonte Tank Davis is with Money Mayweather, but not really. He can still sign with other networks, right? So this will definitely pay a lot of money in Gervonte Tank Davis's pocket. It will be good for all parties, the zone. It will be good for boxing, and it will keep Gervonte's name open for working with different networks. And that's always it's always good to be flexible, because you're gonna get things done. Because Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia, they work with the zone. So if Gervonte can show that he can get this fight signed with the zone and get all this money, then, well, it's not hard to imagine for Gervonte Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia in the future, especially getting paid $20 million a fight, So I'm really excited to see how this whole thing plays out, man. But, it's only big things. The sky's the limit with this fight with Gervonte Tank Davis, man. The sky's the limit. He can fight anyone. He can go foreign. Eddie Hearn is having Anthony Joshua fight in the EU. He's fighting in Dubai and stuff, and fighting in Saudi Arabia. He's fighting all around the world. Eddie Hearn is what Bob Arum used to be. Having these exotic fights, and that's good for the sport of boxing, man. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. But I'm really excited to see it. Only big things for Davis from now on. Only big money fights, because he's a star, knockout artist, and he's knocking everyone out, and he's consistent. You can't doubt it. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. One thing that's wild too, before I go off, is Gervonte Tank Davis. Every time he fights someone on pay-per-view, the guy's a bum. Gervonte stops him, and then the guy instantly becomes a star. Isaac Cruz is a big deal now. Ever since Gervonte Tank Davis fought Isaac Cruz and he didn't stop him, Isaac Cruz is a big money fight now. At one point, the WBC actually mandated Isaac Cruz and Ryan Garcia to fight for the WBC mandatory. So people are talking about how Gervonte's fighting these bums and cherries, and man, these guys are the best fighters in the division. Right? Isaac Cruz was rated higher than Ryan Garcia when Gervonte Tank Davis fought him. He was like number 1 in Mexico. And that's facts. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. But I'm really excited to see Gervonte take out Rolando Romero. He was number one in one of the divisions, and it's just looking good for the sport of boxing. So, Eddie Hearn, Floyd Money Mayweather, they definitely can collaborate for sure, and it's only going to go up from here. The more collaborations in boxing, the better. People should want that. People should want these promoters working together. And Gervonte being stuck in one promoter and not really venturing out, it looks bad for fights being made in the future. But the fact that it's being talked about and he's throwing big money into possibility, that's all I need to hear. Leonard Ellaby made a whole press conference, and I probably could make a whole another video about this, about how Eddie Hearn's paying these fighters a big money, but he's not really giving them big fights. And, sometimes I want a fighter just to get a check. Sometimes seeing one of these young Black American fighters just get big money for no reason, fighting anybody, it's satisfying. It's satisfying. It's satisfying. Now eventually you're going to have to fight a big name, but let's keep it a buck. Everyone's a bum until you lose to that guy. Then he's ask Canelo Alvarez. No one was talking about Dimitri Bivol, and then he got the dub. No one was talking about George Kambosos, and then he beat Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? I can keep going. I can keep going on and on and on and on. Happens all the time. Everyone thinks that guy's a bum. This guy's this, he's that. He gets the win. All of a sudden, he's just that guy now. So, even Sergey Derevyanchenko, I thought he beat Triple G, but they didn't give him the dub. But he became a big name after that fight. Every time someone fought Derevyanchenko, we knew that wasn't an easy fight. We knew that guy was tough, and he was a big deal. So, we're going to see how this whole thing plays out with Gervonte Tank Davis. Will he take the deal with Eddie Hearn? We're going to see. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geobox Empire. Peace.